Hey, it's Alex with alextucker.ca, and welcome to my second content writing tutorial for beginners. So in the first one, we talked about how to get rid of fluff or unnecessary writing, unnecessary words, unnecessary content in your writing. And I feel like that's one of the biggest and most common problems that a lot of writers have, especially when they're just getting started as professionals. And today we're going to talk about how to use story in content and copywriting. Now, a lot of copywriters feel like that what they do is completely different from what content writers do, and a lot of content writers feel that what they do is completely different from what copywriters do. And they're both right, but the truth is there is a lot of similarity and common ground between the two trades. And so I'm going to talk about them both a little bit today, or rather the strategies that I'm going to talk about today can be applied to both equally. So whether you're a content writer or a copywriter or both, the stuff we're going to talk about today should be helpful for you. All right, so let's take a look at my computer and we'll keep going. All right, so today we're talking about how to use story in content and copywriting. Now, story is a very powerful factor in any kind of writing, but people tend to feel like it doesn't have a place in content and copywriting unless they're actually professionals in those industries. A lot of people feel like story belongs in creative writing, and that's the only place that it's important, but it's actually equally as important when you're writing content and copy. So let's take a look at the next slide. Now, this is the shape of a strong story versus the shape of a boring story with no payoff. So on the left here, we have this red line, and this is how a lot of people write their copy and their content. So say you're writing an ad as a copywriter or a product review as a content writer. Either way, your goal is to get someone to click on a link and to read and understand your content / copy, not necessarily in that order, but that's basically what you're trying to accomplish. And a lot of writers and a lot of advertisers and content creators, they just kind of start down here and they build up to here. And they're just like, okay, the product does this, it does this, it's so great, 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 you need to buy it, you need to buy it, you need to buy it. And they just keep building and building. And there's never really any arc or anything interesting or any payoff that would really grab anyone's attention or compel them to take an action, which is more the purpose of copywriting than content writing, of course. But in most content writing, you're also trying to get someone to take an action. You're trying to get them to click through to another story. You're trying to get them to click on an affiliate link. You're trying to get them to sign up for your services, sign up for your email list. All of those things have a lot of the same property as copywriting. But anyways, so this is kind of the arc of a traditional story, and you can use a lot of different kinds of arcs in storytelling, but this is a basic story where there's a beginning, a middle, and an end in which you're introduced to the character, they learn some things, they go on an adventure, and there's a climax, and then there's some denouement and explanation, and then it ends in a either a happy ending or a sad ending or whatever the case may be. And this is kind of the shape that you want to use in your content or your copy, unless you're using a different storytelling shape, but this is a good starting point. So let's talk about some ways that you could potentially do that. Now, things that you want to keep in mind are that the customer or client or the target audience in this case is the hero of the story. If you're writing copy, then the company that you're representing is not the hero. And if you're writing content, then the blog that you're writing for is not the hero. The person consuming the content or the copy is the hero of the story, and it's important that that's very clear in your messaging. The role that you want to take on as the storyteller is the role of their mentor or sidekick. You want to be the one helping them climb that story arc and helping them get to their desired outcome, helping them move through their pain points or achieve their goals. And ways that you can do that, or one really powerful way that you can do that, is to use story gaps, which can also be referred to as cliffhangers, to keep them reading. So basically you can, in copywriting, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. In content writing, you might tease them with a little bit of information about something, and then say, but more on that later, and then move to a different topic. But there's a lot of different ways that you can do it in content as well as in copy. So a basic breakdown of what a story would look like might be a beginning where you either hit a pain or a desire point in order to really get their attention and make them emotionally invested in the piece a little bit. A middle where you introduce a solution to the problem, or at least a potential solution to the problem, or a potential way for them to achieve what they desire. And then an end where you propose the desired end results, a world in which their pain has been dealt with or their desire has been achieved. And this is a really simple kind of representation of this shape, right? Beginning, middle, end. And you can break that down, and that's kind of like a standard 3-act story. You can break that down into 5 acts if you want. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. But that is basically how to use story in content and copywriting. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button, and stay tuned for my next content writing tutorial for beginners. Take care.